Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Crit. For this video, I wanted to take some time to highlight a game project from the community from a very dedicated Fire Emblem fan that wanted to develop their own game after being a little bit disillusioned by searching up similar games to Fire Emblem and not really finding anything that he was particularly fond of. So instead, he decided to teach himself to code and create his own game. And actually, I was very impressed when this guy, Chip, reached out to me to talk about this project. I was impressed by the visuals, by the overall fidelity of this game for someone that isn't even going to school for game design. It's looking pretty solid so far. And so that's why I wanted to share it with you here today. Perhaps for those of you who have beaten most of the Fire Emblem games and are kind of looking for something similar but want something else, want another game that you can sink your teeth into, hopefully this will be the project for you, and hopefully you'll be able to look forward to it as it's estimated to launch early 2021. But without further ado though, let's take an exclusive first look at the launch trailer for Dark Deity. So to elaborate a little bit more on this project, it's currently being developed by a two-man team, which I find pretty impressive, and it's also estimated to launch in early 2021 on Steam. The estimated price, the retail value of the game itself, is going to be somewhere, hopefully, around $15 to $20. That's what I've been told so far. That could change, I suppose. And as for some of the mechanics that we can expect within this game, we're looking at a branching class system that is very vital to how the game plays. Each class will have two defining skills, and those will carry on to the next tier. Chip did emphasize that they're really focusing on making the skills have a big impact, so they're generally much more involved than flat skill increases. Some examples of this being Ambush, which would grant 20% power against enemies with full health, Quick Hands, so if doubling the second attack cannot miss, Dragon Soul, 35% chance to add 20% of current HP to damage, and Divine Purpose, attacking increases the effect of your next heal by 10%, stacking infinitely. In addition to this, class growths account for about half of a character's growths, meaning individual characters play very differently every time. There's going to be 3 tiers and promotion at level 10 and 30. There's also going to be an Eternal Aspects system, and these are going to be physical links to a god's power, with most taking the shape of precious gems. Players will be collecting around 30 of these, and the characters can each equip 1. These will also have a big impact on how characters play. A few examples of this being Iron Sphere, true speed will be doubled when below 30% HP, Camden's Chaos, damage is affected by a random amount up to plus or minus 30%, and Vash's Blood, accuracy is increased against low health opponents. Also, instead of traditional inventory weapons, this game is also going to have a weapon upgrade system. Every character is going to have access to 4 weapon trees depending on their class, and as they use these individual trees, they will gain progress towards upgrading them. These are going to be combined with a wide pool of weapon tokens, which will be used to upgrade those weapons, and each tree is going to have 8 weapons in it, leading up to 320 weapons total. This is going to allow for a crazy amount of enemy variety on maps, as the same class can fight very differently depending on its weapons. There's also going to be a unit bond system, which will be similar to the support system within Fire Emblem. However, unlike those supports, characters are going to have limited bond slots, and the bonds will actually have an effect on their growths. So what I also really like about this project is it adapts a lot of the same concepts and ideas that the Fire Emblem series focuses on, but does them in different ways, and it allows for a lot of potential, especially when it comes to mechanics and things of that nature, perhaps that can't be changed in future Fire Emblem games. Because this is not a Fire Emblem game, it has the freedom to experiment and develop its own systems within it. And for example, one of the things that I wanted to talk about here is the Grave Wounds system. So while the game will support typical permadeath, the main mode of operation is actually going to be with this Grave Wounds system. And basically how this is going to work is, instead of losing a character permanently when they die or are defeated in battle, they will instead receive a wound. And this wound will actually decrease their stats based upon how they're hurt in battle. They'll also be unavailable for the next chapter, and the amount of wounds the character can take before becoming unusable will depend upon the difficulty level, of which there will be 3 in the game. Chip also pointed out to me that he is really interested in getting some community input and feedback about this game and this project, so be sure to let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below, and I'm sure Chip will take a look at that and keep in mind what you guys have to say, as he really wants to develop a project here that everybody can love, especially those of you that are very interested in Fire Emblem and similar games, so I'm sure he'll be excited to hear what you have to say. So if you're interested in this project, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm sure Chip will love to hear from you guys. And also, the game is slated to release in early 2021. It's going to be released on Steam as of right now. It could have potential console releases in the future depending on how this goes. It's looking like the price of the game is going to be somewhere between $15 and $20 as of right now, which I think is extremely fair, especially when you take into account how good the game looks just for being developed by such a small team and everything. I think it looks great. I'm super excited for this project, and I hope that you guys will be too. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid and slash the thumbs up down below. Like I said, be sure to drop a comment, especially if you have further questions about the game too. I'm sure Chip would love to answer them in the comment section down below as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.